All right, all right. Welcome back to More FLA Homes. If you are new to the channel, my name is Christian Clay. Alongside me is one of our real estate rock stars on the squad, the Wesley Chapel King himself. Corey, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. It's glad to be back on here. It's been a couple of weeks, huh, that we've had a live going.
It has been a couple of weeks. Today's video, I want to get straight into it. Before you build a new construction home in Florida, you should pay attention. You should pay attention. We're going to talk about the
Yes.
process. We're going to show you stages. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pause this real quick. We're going to show you some stages, talk about things that as a team we do for our clients and what is important, what to look out for. Corey, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Buying a new construction home in Florida is a series of many different decisions,
Yeah.
right? Most
That's
people
it.
think that it's one decision. I probably shouldn't even ask you the question. Take them home.
And that's it. And I think in some of our lives we're showing the quick move-ins from the builders, the ones that we're getting the best deals on. But we've had a couple dozen clients reach out to us to help build a home from scratch. Those buyers that are maybe on their third or fourth home or have built new homes before, they're just in a different state. They're looking for someone with experience in Florida that's working with these builders. And you really got to have the right team of experts working for you to help guide you through those series of decisions that you're going to make, because it's not just one. Much different process when you're looking at building a home from scratch versus finding just a quick moving deal that one of the builders have. But what we do and the value we bring to our clients throughout this process, this is why we put this video particularly together for you, because we're going to show you how we went from start to finish on building this home, where we brought the value, how we negotiated the deal, how we were able to pick out the lot, the finishes, which way the home swings. Like you said, dozens of decisions you're going to have to make, and it all starts right here when laying your foundation down.
Okay, so we are doing this on a live. So those of you who are watching live, if you have questions, I'm going to be reading through as Corey's talking. We will get those answered for you. If not, I promise you I'm reading them. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. Chris is already in. He says it looks like we're both in the same room because of the fireplace back here. But okay, so Corey, I know on all of our videos we talk about the negotiating process, what to look for, where the value is at. Do you want to pick up from there, or do you want to discuss
Yeah.
like when they find the lot? Totally up to you.
No, that no, that's it. So first we got to go find the floor plan that you like. Then we got to find the lot that's going to be favorable for you. As you can see in this one, this is one of the best lots in the entire community. Everything behind this home is protected conservation between here and the next homes that you can see in the back. So you're truly having a ton of privacy in your backyard here, beyond getting that pie-shaped lot where you're able to get a little space between your neighbors over there. Not only your lot that's important, what's being built next to you. So luckily we can see that another home is already under construction. We can figure out is if it's a single story, a two-story, how that impedes on the natural lighting that comes into your house. Which way is their patio going to swing? So which way do you want your patio to swing when you're designing this home? Does the builder charge you to switch the patio to either side because they already pre-plumbed and pre-electrical the home? So you gotta maybe pay sometimes. Can we put that into the negotiating? But in this home, particularly, we were able to negotiate over $120,000 in closing cost incentives, rate buy downs, and money off of the home. However, our buyer wanted to use it, and then they were able to decide how much money they want to put on a rate, how much money they want to save for closing costs. Do they want to take it all off the price? So we were able to find the best deal for our client with a to be built, which there are still deals out there. We always say quick moving's the best, but on these to be built, you can still extract some really good deals if you know what you're doing and if you have the right team on your side.
So you bring up a few good points before we start hopping into the stage of the slab and stuff like that. We talk
Yeah.
about the importance of having the right lot, having an exit strategy, even if you don't plan to exit. Trust
Yep.
me, people, we've done this enough to where you're going to need to have one just in case. Having the right lot, having the right home that's next to you. People don't think about these types of things going into their kitchen window that's on their side yard or on the side of the home, and they're
Yep.
staring into the kitchen window of the next property next to them, right? So like what
Correct.
is going to be built next to you is just as important as trying to find nothing around you, right? I think those things come hand in hand. Having experience on your side definitely helps with that. So let's just assume,
For
Corey,
sure.
let's just assume $120,000 incentives. You said you crushed this deal here. You found them an amazing lot. Like, what are the steps, the stages that they need to go through, and what do
Yep.
they need to look out for?
Yep. So you're looking at finding the right lot. Can we negotiate the price on that lot? That could be part of your deal as well. Then it's about getting the right floor plan for you. And with this builder in particular, you can get a single story of this version of the home, or you can build it as a two-story. So which way do you want to go in, building a single story, a two-story? Then it's about doing your structural options to the home. This is all before you go to contract. Do you want it to be a 4-bedroom home or a 3-bedroom in a den? Do you want 8-foot doors or 6.5-foot doors? Do you want the 12-foot slider, 16-foot, 18-foot, or 24-foot slider? And they all have very different things. We can even talk about that right now. We are deciding to go between a 16-foot slider and an 18-foot slider. You would think 18 feet, bigger entry, bigger exit way out the back, more space. But the 18-foot slider, the two doors slide into four and kind of leave two doors kind of blocking that entryway, where the 16-foot slider all slid into one door. So you actually have a bigger entryway out onto your patio, and it was more affordable. So actually going through those, fine combing those details of your structural options, how they're going to affect you, what the flow of your home, how it's going to live once you put these options in, is super important, because it's not like the design studio where you have a little time. You got to do structural options and lock it in at the time of contract so they can start permitting that first. Then you end up at your design studio later. So finding the lot, the floor plan, and then getting your structural options in place is like the number one thing that we got to do while we're negotiating the deal, going under contract. And then we can get into the next 100 decisions that we got to make on this one.
Yeah, let me hop in on this real quick. I mean, what are you seeing? Because you guys are out there crushing it, right? Like,
Yeah.
having to make the structural option decisions that quickly when you're going under contract, you better believe that the builder is going to be putting a little bit of pressure on you. At the end of the day, their job is to sell homes in inventory, right? How
Yep.
long of a decision? How long does it? What's the timeline before they need to make that final decision on the 8-foot sliders or the 16-foot
Yeah.
sliders?
I'm glad you brought that up. So it's usually a 24-hour window, because once we negotiate the deal and the price and the incentives, then the builder's expecting you to sign that contract within a 24-hour window. So that's how quickly you have to turn around and make those decisions. But like you said, if you're not thinking about, oh, if you're like, oh, I just want the 18-foot slider because it's bigger, but what do those doors look like? What are the other little miscellaneous details that you're not thinking about, or you just don't know to ask the right questions? Like you said, swinging the home right to left. Do you want to add this window here? Something like adding windows on the back patio. You're like, oh, I get more light. But then it's like, then where do you put your outdoor kitchen? There's no wall space. There's no wall space for a TV out there if you add more windows. So those kind of decisions, we can be there to help guide you and, give you option A, option B, kind of play devil's advocate, and ultimately make sure you're getting what you want. But like you said, asking the questions that you just might not think about, because we have the experience and we're doing this with dozens of clients. And I think this year we built more homes for people than we ever have.
Oh my goodness, plenty of homes. Now,
Yeah.
a question, or actually, I think having experience on your side helps. You're talking about 24 hours to make a decision on structural options. I mean, and this could potentially be a forever home for somebody. So, I
Right.
mean, I think having the experience does help, right? Because you may know,
Hmm.
like, just from this home itself, learning the difference between having more space between the sliders than the one that most people would probably go towards, you can answer that
Right.
question quickly for people, right? Like, hey, I just want you to
Absolutely.
know about this. Let's focus on something else that we can, we have
Hmm.
24 hours to figure this thing out. So time is of the essence. I think experience definitely does help. By the way, if you guys are watching this on live or replay, you want some representation, all the information is floating above. There's an email and phone number, and it's at the bottom of the description too. Okay. Where are we at now? Like, do we want to hop into like the phases that we're in right now?
Yeah. I mean, it starts right here with the pre plumbing, the electrical, under the ground slab work where they're going to frame out the home. All of this stuff has to be inspected by the county as well. It's got to be to inches of exactly what the measurements are in that permitting before they can move forward. So these are important stages of the home. There's not a lot we can do right here to, make any changes or anything. But my question is always, what are the relationships of the builders and these county inspectors? Like, are they signing off on everything when they come in? Like, and they just saying, "Hey, let's keep it moving. We got a dozen of these to do today. We're driving around." And that's why we also have our third party professional inspectors come in and check the slab and do everything else as well. Because we can't be there for those county inspections, but we're going to make sure things are right in the correct stage of the home before they move forward. And that's kind of what we tell the builder to pause. We need to get this checked out. We'll have our inspector come in, take care of everything, make sure we're good, and then we can move forward. But yeah, we're in stage one, getting the underground plumbing, just framing out the home before the slab goes down. And then we get into stage two, where they're going to be pouring that slab.
Okay, so hopping into stage 2 now, real quick context. This home right here, because we're going to show this home start to finish for everybody out there.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So hold your horses. And you're doing these videos, giving our clients updates on the home. Where are they at? Where are they living on this example that we're showing?
Yeah. So this buyer is out of Kansas. So
Cool.
he called us initially because he saw our YouTube page. He saw that we worked with this particular builder a ton. Said, "Seems like you guys know this builder well," which we do. It's one of our favorite builders. We do a ton of work with them. This is their most popular floor plan. We've sold it, helped people buy a ton of these homes themselves. So we have that experience. But that's why he wanted to work with us, was the experience that we had with helping people, guide them through this process, which I was able to sit down, help them with structural, get through there. And I was even able to get permission and sign off to be able to attend his design studio appointment. So there was a 2 day session, the first like 3 hour initial get to know the design studio, and then an 8 hour day where he's one man by himself. So he's, "I need a little help. I need a little guidance." Usually if you're there with your spouse, you can bounce ideas off each other. "I like this, you like that." But if you're by yourself, you might just make the wrong decision, or something you like that might other people might not like.
Sure.
So I was able to attend as a design studio with them and make sure he was making the correct options with the purchase of the home. What's important to get from the builder, which we know they will have to mark up a lot of these things: the floors, the countertops, everything you buy actually is going to have a little bit of markup on it. And what things can we get done aftermarket? When you close the home, it's going to be more affordable to do. You might have more options after you do than just what they have there in design studio. And when you're in
And
design
that's
studio,
and just for everybody, right? Like structural options first, go under contract, then you schedule your design studio a little further down the, I don't want to say too far down the line, but it's not
yeah,
within that 24-hour window. So you got a little bit of
right,
leeway. The design studio should be fun. That's more of
yes.
consult. It's like telling your child not to spend all their money at the candy store, right? It's like don't spend it all, right? But like get the things that you like. I get it. Like enjoy yourself, make the house yours, but we can get some of those other things aftermarket elsewhere. Now, what's going on with slab here? We're in slab,
Yes.
total different phase. Like, where are we at with this?
Yeah, so they're pouring the slab now. This is where they'll have the county inspectors come out, make sure that the slab is solid, everything is to the exact measurement of the permits. You can see here, it's very hard to identify a 3,200 square foot home by just this slab,
Sure.
but you can see there's an island plumbing. I can see the half bathroom, the laundry. You can see where the shower is going to be in the owner suite on the right there. You're going to have another one on the left, another bathroom over there. Like you can kind of identify where all the plumbing fixtures and electrical is going into the home. But once again, an early stage where like it goes from pre-slab to slab into block in less than 2-3 weeks. They can start moving on that pretty quickly as long as they're getting their inspections in. So that would take us then into our next stage, which would be the blocking and the framing of the home, a super important stage, and kind of where you can start seeing rooms come together for the first time, which I think is very exciting. But every stage that you're seeing today, these were videos we were able to give to our client in Kansas. He does not have to be here to come check on his home to make sure that these things are going well. We're flying the drone, we're showing him home tour walkthroughs. And we had a great construction manager too. It's the one person we're like, we cannot choose in the process. We can
Sure.
choose our preferred sales rep, we can get you with the right lender. But the construction manager, they're kind of just designated to certain home sites. And then whoever decides to buy that lot, that's who you get. We got one of the best in the company, one of the most senior construction managers. He is very savvy. He's built a ton of these. He builds all their model homes too. So he does a great job. And he's very good at communicating through email. But do you think he was getting drone videos like this
No, that's the
from
thing.
the
So
construction
that's
man?
that's where I'm
Yes.
going at with this. Like
Yeah.
our team is first of all hand selected to do this, right? But secondly, we follow progressions for our people for you guys to get these updates. We've seen
Yes.
pictures. I mean, the last few lives that we had, we tried to show some videos of the reps for different companies sending their videos in so
Yeah.
we could take a look at their homes, and we just can't get everything uniform. Like it's not as pretty as it could be, but to have
Of
this, like,
course.
we want to make sure the process is the same for everybody when they work with us. And I have to say, before we progress with the video, cost our clients nothing to use our service.
Yep.
$120,000 negotiated in incentives, everything that you're talking about, and it cost them nothing.
Cost them nothing to use our service. All of these videos, the peace of mind, and even though we are not the builders here, the fact that we do it so often, we know what to look for. And I'll get into a story about that when we get to a certain part of building this home. But right here, you can see the blocks going up. We know that a lot of people have the question about framed homes
Mm-hmm.
versus block homes in Florida. Here you can see all these tiny little straps that are around the home, the lentil straps. The block is hollow that they're going to be stacking on these homes. Then they pour it full of concrete and they pour those metal hurricane straps, is what they call them, into the block. Then they're going to throw the trusses in the roof on there, strap the metal around it, nail it down. So your home is going to be strapped down and cemented in the roof into the block on this home. So I think that's another thing that you can just being able to see the process, seeing that every 14, 16 inches you have these hurricane straps holding your roof down on a home like this is just it's peace of mind for our clients that are out of state, which most of them are out of state, trying to build a home in a 7 to 10 month process. And with this particular builder, we're talking about 6 to 8 walks that are mandatory for you to attend. With our representation, with us being on your contract, we are able to attend a lot of these appointments for you. Would you want to fly from Kansas to Florida to look at the slab for 20 minutes? Like,
7 times.
that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Seven different
sometimes it's
times.
like
You have to,
they're like
now there
20
may be
minutes.
somebody out there that's like, heck yeah, man, I gotta leave, man. It's
Yeah,
like my mini vacation. But for the
there you go.
majority of you, we're here. Even if you are that person, you can come hang
Yeah,
out with us at the walks. We'll be there.
that's what it is. It's just time off work. It's paying for flights, hotels, rental cars, food. If your kids are in school, all the things you got going on in life, and they're asking you to come in for a 20-minute appointment. There were 2 or 3 appointments where it was worth like, hey, it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're going to really get through some stuff in this home, give you some good information. That's worth flying into. But if they're asking you to come on a monthly basis, it just might not be feasible for a lot of people. So
Hmm.
we're able to attend, we're able to ask the right questions, take photos, take videos, get the information over to you, make sure you know, like, hey, we're all good right now on what we're looking at thus far throughout the construction process. And ultimately, like this, all of these videos, like you're seeing on the screen, those are going directly to our client so he can see his stages of building
Check
all the
this
way
out.
through an 8 month
Okay,
process.
check out this progress right here. I just want to show everybody. Right, this is at your wherever you're at. Let's just say you're in Kansas on your couch. You just got off work, right? Like you're getting
Yep.
these updates. You're like, okay, cool, it's coming along. Holy cow! All right, and then you're just like, boom. Okay, all right, looking.
It goes
Okay,
quick too.
there's a house there. There's a house.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're finally getting to the stages where they're going to be putting on the trusses and putting on the roof. Super important stages as well. But I mean, when you're building a home, I know how our clients are. They want to see what's going on. And
Sure.
the people that are in town, they're trying to drive by every chance they can
Walking
get.
through,
And
right?
yeah, we know we're like, hey, you gotta have permission to get on site. So that's something we're doing. We're staying in contact with our sales reps, with our construction managers, so they know when, hey, we're gonna be on site today. We're gonna be doing some videos for our clients, walking through their home, getting that permission so that you can, have the peace of mind of that we're getting things taken care of for you. But getting the roof on here, one of the most important things that you're gonna be doing in this home, all of these homes in this particular community with this builder have the tile roofs too, which do have a much longer, almost double the life expectancy of the architectural style shingles that you're going to get most of the time in Florida. So you got a strong tile roof on there, but that also presents its own new way of this home being constructed because they are so much more heavy that they have to kind of build the home a different way, get the walls in first before the tiles, so that when it starts to settle, the home's going to have different issues you'll see kind of pop up with a heavier roof. So we're making sure that the builder's also doing that process in the correct way, not putting on the shingle or the tiles too early and then drywall. it's got to be done accurately to make sure that you're not running into some issues when you're talking about a heavy roof like that.
Dude, we have people in here watching from Germany and Japan.
Let's go,
Watching
man.
from Japan,
We
love your
made it.
videos and lives because they are very informative. Thank you guys for stopping. And once again, if you guys
Appreciate
are
that.
watching
Yeah.
live, if you have questions, let me know. We'll get those answered
Please,
for you. I know you
please.
guys are. Feel free to write in there whatever you want. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. Thank you so much. Germany and Japan, wow, that's cool.
Love
Usually
it.
we get a few foreigns in it, but at the same time, that's like pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And even
Okay,
looking at this lot too, Christian, we're picking this one out. I don't know if you could see just a couple seconds ago. There's a retaining wall behind the
I saw
property.
that. Hmm.
So we're looking at like a 10-foot drop off. So we're talking about a home site when people are worried about heavy rains, inclement weather that comes into the area. There might not be a lot of sitting water around your property when you're talking about having this huge drop off in the back, something that we identified when going through the community to choose a lot. What are we looking at? Is there elevation above you? Is there good drainage on this property? This one having that retention wall, and the homeowner has property behind that retention wall as well. So
Oh,
he
that's
has a
cool.
good amount of space back there. Someone that's like, I'm looking to put in a pool on this property. We specifically picked this lot because we were able to ask the construction manager to move his AC pad to the side of the home because there's enough room with that pie-shaped lot you're seeing right in front of you on the setback that the AC didn't have to be in the back. Now it's on the side of the home. Now he doesn't have to worry about moving that when he goes to build his pool.
So somebody asked wood framing on the second floor versus concrete block. We spoke about that, but I will say a lot of people coming to Florida might not understand that. Two builders that come to mind that do block on block: D.R. Horton and it used to be Biscayne. Who is it? DRB now? I don't even know
Yeah,
if DRB
DRB
does
does
it
it. Yeah,
anymore.
I'm
But I know.
not. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Since they switched names, I don't know if they do block on block with all of their homes anymore. But I would say 95, 97% of the builders are doing block on the first, wood frame on the second. It's still up to code. And when we're talking about an area that we're looking at today, where we're far enough inland, you won't have to worry about the storms the way you would if you were more coastal.
All right, so here we are, stage 5, the rough-in systems. It's coming to life
Yeah,
here.
finally coming to life, and then we're getting really close to the point where we ask the builder to pause. Let's get our third party professional inspectors in this home to start checking some of the things that you've put together. Once again, it is not the builder that is putting everything together in your home. They're hiring and employing the trades, the vendors to do the block, the framing, the roof, the windows, doors. Everything is done by other companies. So there has to be some checks and balance system on how are we getting these things all the way up to where we think they should be. And I think for a lot of people that don't choose to use representation, if you don't ask the question or you don't point out those tiny little, like they might be very small, you might not notice it, but they can still bring you a ton of issues going down the road. That's going to cost you a lot of money. Like we're saving you money by checking it out now. A couple $100s on an inspection might save you $10,000 with an issue down the road later, or just even say like the energy efficiency of your home if everything's not sealed up correctly. Like they'll put foam in to secure your pipes and your electricity, but it's not always perfect. They go fast. They're trades, and they're not
Look,
like I said,
you
it's not the
kind of
builder
want
doing it.
you kind of want somebody that's picky. Like the thing that I like about our home inspectors is that they have a little bit of a chip on their
Or he's
shoulder, right?
picky.
Like
He's
we
picky.
like the home inspectors that used to build homes or be carpenters, and it's like,
Yeah,
let me show them how it's done. Like I want to pick them apart because
absolutely.
maybe they just have pride in how they've done it, and things are slightly different than the old school way of doing things. So we like those inspectors, but I do want to say this. Getting an inspection is not always as easy as it's set out to be, especially with the builders, right? So you have the inspection approval where they have to approve the inspector. Like we've seen this before
Hmm.
where there's like, where's his insurance? Where's his license? What's his liability? XYZ. And it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get that approved.
Yes.
And then a lot of these builders have an approval window time frame where it's like, hey, if you don't
Oh
get
yeah.
it, if you don't ask for the inspection or get it approved within 2 weeks, then you can't get it done. And I'm not saying this builder did that, but generally, I want everybody to
Yes.
be aware of that. That's something that we're aware of. So we have those approved inspectors on hand that you can choose from, because I've seen people that have reached out to us because they couldn't get an inspection done. And if you talk to the builder or you go under contract without representation, we can't do anything. But just be
Yep.
aware of that. Like, you want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success and not failure. We're talking about the many different decisions you have to make. I don't expect somebody that's going through these decisions that you've already spoke about to know these things off their head
Yeah.
without running into
Right.
that issue, you know?
Of course. And like you said, it might be a 2 week window. And we've tried to get an inspector in before where they were like, well, he's not, we've upped our insurance liability for this and that he doesn't carry it. And now you're past your 2 week window. So your inspection's done. So having the inspectors in place already that have been approved, that have worked with us and worked with the builder is super important because we can make sure that you're getting them in at the correct time frame. It's something that we tell them right off the bat, right? We're like, hey, we're going to be doing a pre-drywall inspection. We're going to be doing a final inspection. You let us know when it's time to go because we'll start getting the information sent over to you to get moving. And right at when they start getting in, the electrical, the HVAC ducts, the plumbing that goes into the wall. We're going to get the inspector in there, start checking it. And these are just a few of the things that they'll note in there. Windows not being completely sealed. You can see some of the HVAC with the seal around there, and the foam needs to be a little. This one over here on the door on the right, a tiny little piece is just missing. But we're talking about, like you said, the energy efficiency of your home. Like that will air will still go through there. It's equilibrium. It's gonna be warm on either side, right? So this is where we can get our inspector in, give us this information, send us this report, and then we're back on site. Show us that you fix. Show us the repairs.
Yeah.
Show us the invoice. Show us the videos or the pictures from your plumber or your AC company that this thing was done to make sure that before they move to the next stage, like on the exterior of the home, they're gonna put stucco on it. You don't want to have all those little tiny issues behind the walls that you'll never, even if you're on site, you might not notice it. But those are very, very important. And how do we do the best by our clients? We deliver the quality of the home by making
Yep.
sure those tiny little gaps are sealed in. And for me, it's more like are bugs going through there? I don't like the bugs. So
Well, I'm just
all those little
you
holes.
don't realize how nitpicky you are until it's yours, right? Like when it's
Yeah.
your like okay, like we've had a few of our agents on our team buy, new homes this year, and it's like when it's yours, it's like a little different. You're like every scratch, every detail, and we want to make sure that all
Yes.
of our clients have that same experience, right? It's like we know
Yeah.
how you feel, so let's take care of that for you. And the best way to do that is to get the report from the third party inspector and say, you know what, I don't need to be nitpicky. This person did it for me, and they're licensed and
Yes.
insured, so let's take care of it.
That's exactly what we're doing here. We're making sure that what we can't see and what we don't have the knowledge for, we're getting the professional in there to make sure that we can be nitpicky on all these things. And we've always told people in these contracts, it will say that this inspection report is up to the builder's discretion if they want to fix anything. So what if you went by yourself and you did this and they just said, no, we don't want to fix that. Or this is how it's up to code. It's like, no, we need to get these things fixed.
Sure.
Here you can
And
see
they
the
will,
pest.
and they will, and they
And they
will. You got to
will.
remember, these
And
people
they
are
will.
building and selling homes. They deal with, like you said, 10, 20 of you a day on a daily basis. Their
Oh,
job is to check those boxes and get their butts home, right? So if you don't
yeah.
think that they have things to push back against what you're asking for, they do. It's like people selling cars or anything like that. They're going to push back.
But with all of our inspections that we've been doing, we know what to look for when we're
Yeah,
coming in here as well. Like I was just showing you the pest tubes in the home, making sure that those were installed properly. You can see that the wood frame on the exterior walls all has green treatment up to about needle waist high. That's going to be your termite treatment on the framing of the home. So we can walk into a home and be like, hey, this they didn't put the right framing in. It's not wood. It's not green on the bottom. It's not
yeah,
termite treated. The pest tube isn't installed in this home. But right when we get to about this stage of construction is where we're getting the inspector in to make sure that what we don't, like we said, what we don't know or we don't see, someone else is going to make sure that this is all taken care of for you. And one thing that I love with this builder in particular is we always show the sewer scopes, right?
yeah.
I don't know if we've ever had a perfect one,
No,
and
they
and
always have something, some sort of
there's always
construction
something,
debris in
right?
it, right?
Because this is at this point there's holes in the ground for every toilet, every shower, every sink, and look at like the debris and everything that's laying around in this home. There's going to be screws, there's going to be dust, dirt, rock, concrete. All this stuff is on the floors, and when these trades come in, they're just kicking it around. So if it goes down that pipe, it's going to stay probably in that pipe. And that's why we're having our inspector do these sewer scopes. And even with this builder, we've had a couple sewer scope inspections where working with a local builder came into play again
Sure.
because the construction manager was like, we spoke to upper management, the president of the company, and he decided that we should probably be doing our own sewer scopes
That's cool.
before the client does, right? So we're trying to move the needle on how they operate to get these things done so that when we're going in to do ours, they've already done their own, or maybe they get their own snakes and they start, the construction managers are looking in there. But I mean, from our experience with our inspector, he said he sees about 75 to 80% of these new construction builders have issues in the sewer scope. So I think it's another important thing that we're kind of leaning into our clients like, hey, this is something you might want to check out. It's a couple $100, but a backup in a pipe is going to cost you a lot more money. And after you close the home, they're going to say, how do we know you didn't put something down? How do we know that it was
You don't
us
want to
at that
skip
point?
that step, and then you see a video like ours, and then all of a sudden you're just like
Then
not
you call
sleeping
us.
at night, like, oh my god, what's going on behind the wall? How many people
That's
find our videos after they're under contract and they reach out and it's like, oh, we can't do anything. Look at
I
the
know.
neighbors' homes coming together. Okay, so they have the sod. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna move on to the next step. I'm ready to see this home done. Let me see if I can get
I
into
know.
this.
But
Let
that
me
was a
find
good
one.
place to show. This is right when we're going to start getting our inspector into the home to do the first survey when we can get some solid framing in there, the electrical, the HVAC. We've even showed on a video before where they didn't put the HVAC duct into one of the rooms. And the builder was like, no, it doesn't go in there. And the inspector was like, it has to go in there. Like, we're really missing out on a big problem here in a room where you're going to have your laundry and your dryer running. Like, you got to have an HVAC duct in there. So the builder had to pause before they put up insulation, pause before they put up the drywall, get the HVAC company out, put the duct down into the room. That, I can't imagine what kind of issues you'd have to go through to fix that after you close the home when all the walls are up and everything's completed.
Well, my mouse just went bad on me. Give me 1 second.
These are just the regular work from home issues, huh?
Let's see. I have a backup mouse. Let's get
The
her going.
backup mouse. What? He's got the backup cameras, the backup mouse. This guy's
Well,
prepared.
hopefully you can. Everybody, we've come so far. We've come way too. Oh, here we go. Backup mouse. Let's go. Backup mouse.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it was
Man, that
gonna be
was a
that
Hail
quick.
Mary
I did
there,
not
baby.
think it was gonna. I thought you were toast, buddy.
I
This
thought
guy's
we were
cooked over here.
toast. All right, so here we go. Stage 7, drywall. Okay, things go so fast after drywall, right? Because these
Yeah.
homes are taking sometimes 10 months, sometimes 6 months. Somewhere in between there is the sweet spot. Once drywall is installed, and hear me out, everybody, you're going to get a due date or a completion date early on. That thing
Yeah.
could be bumped up quickly. It could be bumped up once
Yeah.
drywall is installed, it's going to move very, very quick.
Yeah. So when you go under contract, they're like it's gonna be 8 to 10 months. It's gonna be a 90 to 120 day window when this home's completed in either direction of what they tell you, right? So like it could come early if they start moving very quickly on this home or they don't have any weather delays or trade delays, material delays. It could come up to in that construction process. But finally, we're getting into what feels more like a home. You're starting to see the drywall go up, door frames, doors, windows, baseboards. One thing that I do love about this builder too that I noticed is they started capping those pipes where you see the holes in the ground. So they're like, let's just go ahead and put a cap on it.
So
Seems
smart.
simple, right?
But
Why
that's
aren't all the
something that a
builders doing
national
this?
builder, it would take too long for them to make that adjustment. You noted local builder chain of command is not as high and they adjust quickly. We love, love, love that.
Absolutely. And that's why we have a lot of people. Someone reached out to us this past weekend was like, what's your experience with building homes with any of the builders in the area? And what do you know about this? How many clients have you helped? And I think a video, even I told him, I was like, watch our live tonight. We'll show you exactly what we do in this process. And that kind of, I was telling you, I was going to tell you a story earlier. One of my good friends just bought a home with a builder. I recommended he did, but you know what? They used, his wife wanted to use Aunt Susan.
Okay. Okay.
He's like,
Listen,
let's go
and
ahead and use
your
Aunt
friend might be
Susan.
watching. We're not going to hurt your feelings, but we're going
That's
to use your
okay.
story as an example for how to
I,
go.
I already told I already told him I was going to, right? So he used Aunt Susan. And Aunt Susan, she probably has more real estate experience than I've been alive on this earth, to
Sure.
be honest with you, right? So she's got years and years and decades behind this, but I don't know how much she has with the builders. And that's what I was trying to tell him. I was like, if you want about the builder, our team might be able to help you more. So we went to I actually helped him move, and when we were there moving his stuff, the internet company came out and they didn't run the internet through the house. That orange tube that they hang outside, they
Sure.
can pull the cords through.
Hmm.
They forgot to do it in this home. And I asked him, I was like, did nobody notice? Did your realtor notice on the construction walk, on your first walk? Were they asking? No, it didn't. Something that I would always note when we're on the outside of the home, when they're looking right next to the HVAC, your electrical box, and your internet tube hangs out. Where's the internet tube? Something they probably could have got done before. Now the home's completed, and they're like, we got to call the builder and see if they can come back in and get in the attic and drill through the stucco and reverse engineer the whole thing that could have been done. And hey, but that's
So
part
I'm
of
gonna
our
have to change the
experience.
slogan, right? Because I always say make sure you get representation. I love for it to be us. It could be your Aunt Susan. I'm gonna have to stop doing that because they're going to Aunt Susan.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. There
There's a
is a
difference.
difference. This is a total different ball game. I've seen so many people that are well versed in the industry, as you were stating here. The experience of building a home, knowing the builders, knowing the tenancies, the
Correct.
stages, it's way different than listing a home. It's way different than going and showing
Yes,
a resale home. Trust me,
absolutely.
we're cut from the cloth of that. We still do that for our people, but this is a different
Yes.
type of ball. If you want to succeed and stay ahead. Now, if you just want to get a transaction done, no, I mean, you could just go and do exactly what but there's going to be some little things here and there. You got to remember they're pumping out homes. But if you want to make sure you're not skipping steps and you're, buying a home with, want to have a good exit strategy, I think strategy matters.
If you exactly. So those other things, what lot did you guys shoot? What's drainage look like on your lot? What's the resale value, your exit strategy? All these things that I could start to identify when I got to the home. I was like, you know what? It's at this point it's out of my control. You use who you wanted to use, but the end of the day, like you said, the we're experienced in this.
Exactly.
This is what we do. We're the best team to help you find, buy, negotiate, and then build this home to make
This
it
is
look
it.
good.
Okay, so hold on. We went
Let's
from
get to it.
this to that to that
Hmm.
to some life here. Okay, cool. That's a gorgeous shot of that lot there. To this
Yeah,
to
man, this is
this,
a
and that's where we
nine
had to.
nine
That's
month
where we
time
had to.
frame.
We had to do the miracle on the extra mouse here. Now here we are. People probably can guess the builder now. Gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous home. All right, so the interior finishes. Here's an update on that. I'm ready to get in here and take a look as my mouse is going sporadic.
is this the final one? Is this the
This is
completed? We might
stage
be
8. This says
okay. We
interior
got one
finishes. We
more. We
got
got
one
one more.
more.
So this one's quick. We can still go through this too. So now we're gonna start seeing the home start to come to life with some floors, some lighting, countertops, all these decisions that you kind of made in the design studio. Now they're getting put into the home, not just the drywall, the doors, everything else. So another huge part, like we said, was being able to help our client in that design studio. What options you want to choose? You can get a countertop that's $4,000. You can get countertops that are $16,000. So what we help our client do is decide which is going to be most important, which is going to hold the most value when you go to resell. And one of the options we were able to choose was, hey, what do the standard secondary bathrooms look like? Not your primary suite, but you have 4 bathrooms in this home. What do they all look like with just standard features, no cost
Oh,
to upgrade?
bro, this is sick.
Yeah, the way you see it finish is crazy. But finding out that we could do standard bathrooms in the home that had still a pretty nice tile, nice countertops, good floors, sinks, light fixtures at no upgrade charge. We went all standard bathrooms, and guess what? We were able to get the level 7 countertop, something that is a showstopper. When people buy homes on a resale, they will want. What do they want? They want the kitchen, they want the primary suite and the primary suite bathroom. I'm like, that's where you need to invest the most money because everything else, you could do it down the road too. You could hook up one of the secondary bathrooms, getting a gourmet kitchen built in like this with the open drawer for the oven. Like that's just the convenience to be able
I,
to get in
I,
and out of
I
there instead
gotta
of pull
say,
it
like, let me,
down.
if I can interject, like,
Yeah.
like the black in the kitchen is not really my thing. That's sick. That looks tough. I like that.
So,
Whoa,
hey,
with the
like I
black,
said, I
with
was
the
like, this is
backsplash black, that's
oh,
tough.
so then another option he made in the primary suite, he kind of reversed it. He went with black cabinets and white countertops that were different. So just the whole home, we helped them kind of design it to make it seamless, but make it like something that everybody will love. With the
Of
wood
course,
floors, keeps it nice and warm
of
too.
course.
He's got a white vent hood that's gonna go around there, cabinet lighting. all the things that people are going to see
Shall
in
we?
this home that are going to make it. Oh, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
we go right into it.
Now we're gonna obviously ooh and ah and let everybody ooh and ah here, but the final inspection. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the importance of it. Somebody might
Yep.
not be building a home, but they might be buying a home built already. So I think that
Right.
this would definitely fall in line for them as well.
Right. Not everyone has the opportunity to do that pre drywall, especially if we're trying to help you get one of those quick move ins where we're finding some of the best deals possible. But the final inspection is, I think we both agree that it's the most important at the end of the day, because now everything's installed into the home. We can do a pre drywall, but we don't have doors in, we don't have the appliances, the paint, the light fixtures, everything else that's completed in the home. So our final inspection is really going to give us a gauge on how everything was done. And once again, we can tell the builder to pause and fix some issues before we close the home. And this is where, like you said, even the things we can see, we can go in there and do a little bit of blue tape, but at
Sure.
the end of the day, he's still gonna go into the attic, check the spray foam. Is it all up to the right level? They'll put a yardstick in there when they spray foam, and then it's got to hit a certain height
Right.
before they know that it's all good. Get on the roof. We had one crack tile, which just happens normally during the
Sure.
building process. But if you didn't look on the roof, you would never know it happened. And then I don't know what kind of leakage that goes into later into your roof. But just being able to see all the things that are sealed, every single pavers in your driveway. I don't know if you want to go look at all 300 of those, but he'll check to make sure every single one is in good shape. And, before we move into this home,
Hey,
we can get
listen,
them
and once
replaced.
again, I love the petty home inspectors.
Yeah,
I hate to say petty, but I like the ones that are nitpicky
I do
because that's
too.
what we're doing it for, right? Like I want you to
We-
find comb through it and pick on them a little bit. I like that.
we have this conversation with the construction manager every time. He's like, he was a little picky. I'm like, I know he's a little picky. I know sometimes that these are things that are like, they're pretty normal or standard, but that's exactly why we hire him. Because we want him to be picky. Don't like miss something or leave it out because you think it's too picky. Show us everything, and then we can decide if it needs to be fixed or not. But going in, checking, like, look at this ductwork right here. He's like, that should be fixed. It can't be leaning on there. That's going to cause a slow flow in there. Things we would never be able to see, as just a regular person. And they tell you not even to go in your attic anyway, because you don't really use it as storage. A ductwork that's ripped, things that are easy to fix, they just have to call the trades out to get it done. And a lot of times, construction managers, they're just going by and checking to make sure everything, but are they going in your attic and checking? Are they going on your roof and checking? And there's always like some debris on the roof that they just didn't take down, or a
That's the
shingle that's
worst, especially when you have an
missing.
upstairs room and you can see and you're just like, I'm looking at the debris on the roof. Like, can you guys get it out of my eyesight at least? Like, put it on the back of
I was we were in one
dude.
of these homes the other day, and I looked across at the neighbor's roof and I saw a cracked tile, and I
Yeah,
was like, I can see right there. There's one that hopefully they got an inspection, they can get that fixed. But we're even able to negotiate with the construction manager to be like, hey, also leave us some materials behind. If
yeah.
there's anything left that you have, leave the LVP, leave the bathroom tiles, leave the roof shingles, the pavers, whatever you got, the trim work. If there's extra, leave it. So if you run into an issue in the future, you have the same materials. I know a lot of these builders, 2, 3 years down the road, you might try to get the LVP and they're like, well, we don't sell that anymore. It's like an
Discontinued.
off shade. Yeah. It's no longer white. It's a little off white shade. And now you got one weird tile in your bathroom in the middle of your living room if it needed to be replaced. So we're like, hey, leave us some materials so that we can make the correct adjustments if we have to in the future. But that's where it's also important to know where you stand in warranty with these builders. How long is each warranty with these builders? Is your HVAC
Exactly.
five
Those things
years?
are important,
How do you get
people.
extended parts? Yeah, yeah,
Bro,
for
so
sure. And when
listen, it all stems back to the same thing,
you
right? Buying and or building a new construction home in Florida is not just one decision. I think when you can watch people doing these tours on these videos, it seems like it's one decision. It's a series of a ton of small decisions that can hurt you or help you. So I think strategy is extremely important. Extremely
absolutely.
important. If you want it done right. Now, if you just want to go and buy something and deal with everything else later, by all means, it's there for you to do. You could do that too.
For me, it's the cost that you're going to have to put in later if things aren't done right. You're going to end up spending more money on trying to address issues and hoping that warranty will fix it. Because once again, warranty is very different from having the construction manager fix it before you close. They don't want to delay closing. They also want to make you super happy because they're going to get a survey at the end, or they're going to give you one and say, how was your construction manager? How was your lender? How was your sales rep? These surveys go right to the presidents of the company, and they're looking at them and they're calling. They're saying, why were they unhappy? Why didn't they give you a 10 out of 10? Like, what's wrong? So they're incentivized to do everything for you. If you're like, I want this fixed, they're like, okay, we'll fix it. Well, let's do it before closing, and then we won't have it delayed. But warranty is the opposite. They could get out there 2, 3, 4 weeks later, whenever they could have the time to do it. They could say maybe you did this and not us. At that point, like, it's got a whole different ball game. So making sure that we're getting these reports and saying fix it before closing, they're motivated to do it as quickly as possible. And all the stuff on our inspection report was fixed before our first walk through the home. So they really took care of us, made sure that they had the report laid out, went item by item through the report with us to make sure, hey, we knew everything in this home was up to par by the time that you're going to go ahead and close.
Somebody says, definitely planning on reaching out when we get done moving back to Wesley Chapel. My wife and I are planning to buy our first home, just need to adjust back to America process from Japan. That was our Japan viewer. Love,
Very cool.
man. Okay, so is our client fully moved into this home? Has it closed? Where are we at with that?
It will be in just a couple days here.
Okay,
So
sweet. Very
for
nice.
us, it was like we got past our walks, we've gotten past all our inspection. The home is ready, and it was just more of a timing with work and getting into town for the closing. So we'll be there soon, but that everything is already completed in the home and it is ready to go. And then even afterwards, like you said, having the pool in the backyard was super important. So looking at lots, getting in with pool vendors, getting the plot plan to be able to send to the pool builders and the fencing companies to say, hey, how are we going to be able to do this in the future? Being able to negotiate with the construction manager to move the AC to the side of the house
Of
was
course.
huge. That could cost a
People don't
lot of
know that.
money and be
Like
a lot of work.
when you get a pool in, a lot of times they're going to need to move that AC from the
Yeah.
back to the side, especially if you have a 2-story home.
And if you don't have enough space in between your homes, if it was a standard lot with the width of the home, like the 10 feet that you'd normally get, you cannot put an AC on the side of the home.
Yeah.
So finding the correct lot to make sure that, hey, is this going to be an option in the future? Or why can't we just do it now while we're doing the slab on the home? Like, can we get that addressed right away so that we can just
Now
have
let's
the freedom?
let's talk about that though, right? And I don't want to send a now. Great job negotiating that. And sometimes
Negotiating it.
there's some strings that can get
Yes.
pulled. That is not a standard thing that builders do.
Correct.
If it doesn't fit
Correct.
their criteria of a structural option that they offer at a design studio or inside of the model home, there's a good chance they're going to tell you no. There's a good chance. So I don't want
Yes.
to. I don't want to say that it will get. Great job negotiating it, though. Great job negotiating that.
Yes, exactly. Because I'm telling you, 95% of the time they're going to say, we don't do that.
Yep.
It's not up to plans. This is not how we operate. We're not going to move it for you. That is what you're typically going to see with pretty much any builder across the board. And, we always think it's worth a shot. And with this one, we were able to work it out. Like, we'll go ahead and shoot. The worst we can get is that NO, which you're usually expecting. But we're like, why not? Why not be able to do it now before it gets instructed? It's just about a placement issue here. And if there's a setback, that's why we looked for the correct lot to make sure, hey, if we get a lot like this, we can move it and then we can do the pool and not have to worry about it.
Here we go. So we got the darker cabinets in the primary, the lighter color cabinets or countertops. My apologies. You
Yeah.
got the soaking tub. A lot of people are kind of iffy about the soaking tub, but I think that it's good to have it there for future value because you can't guess what people that are going to buy your home are going to want, right? I'd rather have it than
Correct.
not have it. Let's just say that.
Exactly. And this one is kind of built in. You could still, because the plumbing is in place, get a standalone tub if you want to. This one's fully jetted too. So it's kind of does have some of those nice upgrades. Once again, doing a nice primary owner suite with the pebble on the tile floor there, the black fixtures. These are the things that people are going to want in a resale market, like you said, with that exit strategy. So we're like, if you're focusing on that design studio, that's the one thing we can't negotiate for you is that design studio. You're picking the options you want. And once you get in there, it's like you can see where the prices start to go. And at the end of the day, you're not seeing it in your home. They're going to grab a example tile with an example cabinet and put it all together on a table for you and be like, this is how your kitchen's going to look. And you're looking at a 2x2, your whole entire kitchen with the floor, a tile, a counter, and they're like, this is what it's going to look like. You don't get to see it in your home. Some of these decisions, it's like you could like it, but it might not be the best style at the end of the day, or how's it going to look. So helping our client get through that process as a single man, being like, I like this stuff, but is it going to be the best? A second opinion working with the design studio consultant to say, hey, are these things going to be favorable in the future? We were able to get him a beautiful home and then save him a ton of money on things like the ceiling beams that he didn't want to do right away. He's going to do it afterwards. It's probably going to cost him half the cost to do it aftermarket.
This
Doing the
builder's notorious for that. You walk in and you fall in love with that. Okay,
beams.
so going aftermarket on those is the play if you have the time and
Yes.
funds to do so. Gotcha.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you got to think you're not mortgaging it and paying interest on it over a 30-year period for a lot of these upgrades too. So if you do have the funds to do some of the upgrades aftermarket, we can get you with a lot of the vendors. And a lot of times we even just ask the construction manager who hangs your beams in these homes. And they'll give us the information
Yep.
for the trades that they have for epoxy, for maybe doing railing on the stairway, something I think he said he wanted to do, ripping out some of the drywall there, doing the wrought iron railing going up. We have the vendors that we can get in contact with, and with whatever builder you choose to work with, sometimes they have the vendors in the community already that they're like, hey, here's his number aftermarket. Go ahead and give him a call.
I will say this for everybody out there that's watching, kind of educating themselves. Maybe you might not be in our area of service, Greater Tampa, Orlando, Polk. It's kind of our expertise when it comes to location, but
Yep.
our strategy applies throughout the entire state of Florida. We get people all the time that's like, hey, look, I know you can't send me updates in Jacksonville because you guys aren't there, but I know what home I want. I know what community I want to be in. I just need help negotiating and going through the process of finding that we can still do those things for you. So I would still say, instead of going Aunt Susan, if you're kind of, not knowing what the process could be like and you need help, still reach out to us. Email and phone number floating above. But hey, Orlando, Tampa, Polk, you want to know those areas, schools, areas that everybody's going towards, etc. We got you on that. We got you on that. Anything else before we hop off, Corey?
No, man, this is a good one. I've been working on this one for a while, and I'm glad we were able to show everyone the stages of building and how our experiences are able to help our clients get through the construction process. And at the end of the day, I think just most importantly, getting you the documentation of your home being built, making sure that we're
Yeah.
on site for those walks. We're
Very
showing up
underrated,
with
right?
your
We talk
walks.
so much
Yes.
about our
Yes.
strategies on negotiating and what to look for. But like the most underrated thing that we do, I would say, is transparent documentation when it comes to documenting the process of your home for you. So many people we have people watching from Japan and Germany, right? Like
Yeah.
such an underrated aspect, giving you this
Imagine
at a
being
uniform
across the world
So
and
like
getting this
this
video.
is Corey's documentation. We can get you to another agent on our team, and it's going to be uniform. And I think that's extremely important across the board. I really do.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so if you made it this far, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what the heck are you doing? Catch you guys on the next one.